Rob, what more can you tell us about the situation in Gaza, notably this latest deadly aid incident?
Yeah, I mean, it's the sort of thing that's happening almost on a daily basis now. Not quite as serious as this particular one, but almost every day, there are attempts by armed gangs to take control of aid shipments being put through the Gaza Strip. When the United States and others fly in aid and drop parachutes onto the shore, the same sort of thing happens. There's a mad stampede. Criminal gangs try to take control of the situation. And the real reason for this, I think, is that, first of all, not enough aid is getting in. There are not enough trucks on the ground once they get in. The logistics of distributing the aid around the Gaza Strip has not been properly organized. And as a consequence of that, we're seeing the sort of chaotic scenes that we are. Set, of course, in the context of growing starvation in the Gaza Strip. Not to put too fine a word on it, the International Court of Justice saying that the situation is already very critical and ordering Israel, in effect, to open more crossings into the Strip and to ensure that sufficient aid gets in. The United States State Department saying just 24 hours ago that in some parts of Gaza already there is famine. In the south and in the central parts, they said the situation is critical. There could be famine soon, but in parts of the north, there already is famine. And so, the situation, of course, made even worse by the constant fighting that's going on all over the Strip. In the north, around the Al-Shifa hospital, around the two hospitals in Khan Yunis, Amal and Nasser. The mix is absolutely catastrophic for the people living there.
And meanwhile, Rob, all eyes are on Gaza, but you've just returned from the West Bank where you visited the Jenin refugee camp. Tell us what that was like and what you heard from the people there.
Yeah, one of the things that's happened in the West Bank since the Israelis launched their offensive in Gaza in the middle of October is that the violence in the West Bank has picked up as well. Sometimes that's settler-led violence, sometimes it's violence between Palestinians and the Israeli army. In the Jenin refugee camp, and more broadly in Jenin itself, the city where the refugee camp is, there's been frequent fighting, in fact almost on a daily basis, between the Israeli armed forces, the Israeli defense forces, and fighters from Hamas and Islamic Jihad, usually as part of the Jenin brigade, with consequences for everybody living there. Since last October, 107 people have been killed in the Jenin area. And we just went there to have a look for ourselves to see what it's like to be living in a city that frankly feels as if it's under siege. I spoke to one woman whose two sons had been killed in January, the end of January, when the Israelis launched a raid on one of the hospitals in Jenin, dressed as nurses. They went in and effectively carried out executions. Her sons had been armed. They had been fighting for the Jenin brigade, but one of them was wounded, lying in bed, and his brother was lying in the next bed to him, looking after him, when the Israelis came and killed them. 2 months later, she is still mourning, of course, but she's saying, look, for us, this is just the beginning. It's another stage. We've got patience. For every son that is killed, 100 more are born. There was no sense that they're ready to give up. If anything, every incident like that seems to give them extra strength to carry on fighting and to resist what they see as an attempt to take over their lands by the Israelis on the West Bank.